Hello everybody, welcome to this Verbaling class with me. My name is Amy and today's class is all about confusing adjectives. So you know those adjectives we have in English that sometimes have an ed ending and sometimes have an ing ending, like bored or boring. When do we use bored and when do we use boring? This confuses so many people, I decided that I'd do a class on it and try and get the confusion sorted out, because it is really very simple, but it's a lot more difficult when you're actually speaking. You have to remember which one to use. So do come along into this class. I believe there are a few slots left if you would like to practice this with us and sort of learn the difference once and for all so that you don't make mistakes again. Before we get started, I'm just going to let you know about 2 pages that you can visit if you would like to sort of supplement your verbaling experience, shall we say. So the first of these 2 pages is my Facebook page. Check that out. It's in the chat box there. You can keep in touch with all the teachers via their verbaling Facebook pages and also the other students, and you can see what the teachers share. So sometimes some useful websites or resources or anything that we come across that is to do with English teaching. You can keep your eye on that via Facebook. If you have specific questions, you can write to us using the messaging feature, which you'll find at the Verbaling teacher page. And you can also see the slots which are free for private tutoring sessions, which is where you can have a one-on-one session with a teacher to really focus on your studying, or the upcoming classes that are going to be happening in the next few days or week or so, which is exactly what we're doing now. This right here is a class. So do go ahead and check out those 2 links if you have time. Okay, let's say hi to our lovely students and see who we've got this morning to talk about confusing adjectives. So, Alberto, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Do you have any news for me today?
Nothing special, only a working day.
Just a normal working day, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well,
with
that's
a lot
nice.
with a lot of work. That's it.
With a lot of work?
Yeah.
All right, it was a busy day. Well,
Yes.
yeah, that's, I don't know, so I suppose at least when it's busy, you don't get bored. That's probably one good thing about being busy. But welcome, Alberto, good to see you. Alejandro, how are you?
Hello, teacher.
Nice
I'm
to see
fine.
you again. Excellent. And do you have any news, Alejandro? What's happened to you in the last week or so? Anything exciting?
No, nothing.
Okay, nothing exciting, but nothing bad either, I hope. So just a regular few weeks.
Excuse me.
It's just been a regular or a normal couple of weeks for you?
It was fine. Yes.
Excellent. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And is it summer over there, Alejandro? Is it hot weather?
Very hot. It's very hot tonight.
Oh, yeah, so sticky. Does it make it more difficult for you to concentrate, or do you quite like the heat?
I don't care.
You don't care. Well, that's good to know. All right, well, it's good if you're not affected too much by the weather. I think it makes your life easier because we're not really in control of the weather. All right, well, welcome, Alejandro, to the class.
Thank you.
Who else do we have here? It looks as if your name might be Friend, which is a great name, but I might be saying it incorrectly. Hello.
Hello. See, you said correctly.
Is your name is really Friend?
Oh, it's just a nickname because my real name is just kind of long, or just hard to pronounce.
All right. Well, it's a great name, a great nickname, that's for sure. Where are you from, Friend?
I'm from Ecuador.
All right. Very cool. And tell me, why are you learning English? Have you got a specific reason?
Yeah, I'm starting education to
Mhm.
be an English teacher.
Great.
I studied another things like economic engineering, computer science. So I want to use English, not like, I don't know, probably to be an English teacher, but I really want to travel abroad
Okay.
after finishing my studies
Mhm.
to work abroad in a
Excellent.
cruise or whatever.
All right. Well, that is a specific goal, and that's great to hear. I'm very pleased about that. It's nice to meet you too, friend. You have an awesome name.
Likewise.
All right. Thank you. Welcome to the class. And who else do we have? Ronaldo. Hello. Are you there, Ronaldo? No? All right. Well, Ronaldo, if you do happen to join us, I don't know whether maybe you're having connection problems or. All right, Ronaldo, please try not to mute me because if I can't speak, then we can't do the class. So just be careful which buttons you're pressing, okay? Just have a fiddle around and see if you can come and say hi to us in a moment. If you get your microphone working, just say hi and we'll talk. All right, welcome everybody. Okay, so today's
Hello,
topic.
Amy. Can you hear me?
Excellent, I can hear you. How are
Oh,
you, Ronaldo?
oh, okay. Thank you. It's working now.
Good.
uh, I am okay, and I'm here to try to improve my English.
Good. Well, that's why you should be here, so I'm glad to hear it, Ronaldo. That's excellent.
Yeah,
So
great.
apart from your computer problems, you're having a good day so far?
Yeah, I had a good day. And a normal day, I had a busy day,
Hmm.
but my lunch is very good because I eat typical food here in Brazil, named
Hmm.
feijoada. It's very delicious. I don't know if you hear about.
I have. I have heard about it, actually. Funnily enough, I was talking about this with one of my tutoring students.
Oh,
Um,
great.
and it's got beans and stuff in it, right? Is that
Yes,
right?
that's it. Yes, right.
I really want to try that. I must try that at some point, Ronaldo, because it sounds delicious. And
Yes.
I've learned a lot about Brazil. There seems to be lots of Brazilian students who are coming onto Verbling and possibly suit the time difference between where I am and you guys. So I've been learning a lot about Brazil, and I have to say, I really want to go there and see the place for myself these days. It sounds amazing, like a very cool country.
Yes, I think so. You will like so much.
All right. Well, I hope that I can come over there at some point and have a holiday.
Yeah.
Welcome to the class, Ronaldo.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome. And nice to meet you.
And nice to meet you too. Let's say hello to Mikkel. How are you doing, Mikkel?
Hello, Amy. Very good. Thank you. And you?
I'm very good as well, thank you, Mikkel. How's your studying going?
Well, a little, step by step. I think it's hard for me because I try to learn fast and a lot of information when I go to speak is very, very difficult. And to
Absolutely.
understand when you are here is complicated because you put, for example, the TV and it's a little easy conversation. Do you read? You understand all, but only here is difficult because yes, I suppose it's practice and a little time.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about it, Mikkel, is really like it's simple, but it's not easy. So you just have to keep practicing really with the language. Practice, 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 practice. It's all about the hours you put in. So yeah, just as much time as you can spend on practicing. The quicker I always think that the more regularly you study, that you study, the better. It's not so much to do with the amount of time as the regularity. So if you can try and do it every day, even if it's only for a short time, you'll make more progress.
Yeah, for example, I listen a lot on the BBC, the Channel 4, the news, and I understand a lot because speak not very fast, speak well. I think it's the best English, and I understand a lot, but in the street it's more difficult for me understand.
Yes, definitely. Unfortunately, not everybody speaks like a BBC presenter. Otherwise, it would be really easy. But yeah, I understand, Mikhail. It's a good thing to do, though. It's definitely a good way to start getting used to all the vocabulary and everything. But it is a bit different talking to people on the street. I admit it.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. So welcome to all of you. We're going to be talking today about adjectives. So we have what basic difference that we're going to be doing today, with a couple of exceptions, is the difference between an adjective ending in ed and ing. So the difference is quite straightforward, but it is difficult to remember when you're talking. So what we're going to do is just go over the rule of this first of all, so everybody understands, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of practice choosing the correct adjective with the ed or the ing to give the correct meaning. And then we're going to just be practicing our speaking. So I'll be asking you some questions using these words and seeing if we can just have a bit more of an informal practice to get those words in your brains once and for all, we hope. So let me do a screen share. What we're going to do is go through a couple of examples and talk about the rules so that you guys can understand this. So what we have here, first of all, is an example. So the first one's got the words missing. The second one we're going to look at first, so I'm going to put it at the top. So let's see, Alberto, could you read out this sentence for us, please?
Sorry, I can see your...
You can't see it? Alright, just a sec, let me try again. Sometimes the screen
No,
share...
it's better.
Alright, let me just see if you guys can see the document I'm sharing. If I can try this one more time.
Okay.
Can you see that, Alberto?
Yes. No.
Excellent. If you could read this one, please.
I am frightened because this film is frightening.
Good. Alright, so what we have here is the adjective. Now, this has two forms. You can say frightened or frightening. And there are lots of adjectives that work like this in English. Another one of them is this, bored or boring. What we're going to do is work out what the difference is between them so that we know when to use which one. So, could somebody have just have a look at the first sentence we've got here. What we want to do is put bored or boring in the right places in these two spaces. So would anyone like to have a try? Nobody?
I feel bored because this TV program is boring.
Well done. Excellent. Thank you. Can you explain to me why? Why did you put them in that order? Or was it just a guess, or were you just following the example from above?
Yes, I can make analogy with the first one.
Okay, that's all right. That's what I wanted you to do, Ronaldo, anyway. So well done. Let's have a look at these two sentences and figure out what the difference is, right? If I split them like this, what you can see is the first thing we've got here is, well, can anyone have a look at these now that I've split those into two halves and make some kind of a guess as to when we would use these words? What's the difference?
Could you ask? Sorry, could you repeat again the question?
Excellent. Yes, I can. So what I want to know basically is how can we tell from these sentences, just by looking at them, why we have to use boring here and not bored, or why we have to use bored here and not boring. Can you have a look at them and come up with any ideas at all as to why we use them in this order or when we use these?
Okay.
Anyone
Well,
like to guess? Yep.
yeah, the ending with ed could be just used for the moment that the feeling is I know in that moment. So
Yes.
the ending in ing is a feature of what is the program or the film.
Excellent. Excellent, friend. That's a really great description. So let me repeat that. What friend said was that we use the ed when we're talking about a moment. So in this moment, I am frightened because, and then he said that the other word we use for describing like a general characteristic of something. So the film, what kind of film is it? It's a frightening film. That's a really great explanation, friend. Well done. We're going to go into it a tiny bit more. I'll just say hello to Elena. How are you?
Hello, teacher. Hello, everybody.
Nice to see you again. Sorry, Elena. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Great. And you, teacher?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. So, Elena, we're just discussing adjectives at the moment, and the difference between the ed and the ing. So just sort of follow along if you can, and we've only just started.
All right.
All right. So, yes, we'll go back to the difference between these two. The most important thing, basically, guys, is that if I had to write a description maybe of when to use each of these words, I'm going to write it underneath. So we'll put it down here. When do we use bored? The ed version. We use it to describe how somebody is feeling in the moment, which is what friend said. Friend, what I'm adding to this is this part here, how somebody is feeling about something, okay? So this is a description of your feelings, basically. I am bored. In English, we tend to use the verb to be. I know in other languages it's slightly different. However, when do we use the ing? Boring. Great typing. Oh, isn't this great? All right. We use boring to talk about or to describe. You can use this for people or things. So I'm going to put both, the thing or perhaps the person that causes the feeling. Okay? So you can see if we look at the examples, the TV program is boring. This is the thing, the TV program. And then we use the word boring to describe that because it produces a feeling of being bored. So let's look at some other words that work like this in English. Firstly, I'm going to leave this one up here so you can have a think about that, guys, for a little while. Can anyone give me any examples of some other words in English that that can have these two different forms? Just a little bit of a brainstorm. So have a little think about it for a moment. And can anyone think of any adjectives that work the same?
Yes.
Yeah?
Tired and tidy.
Very good. Excellent. Any others, guys?
Excited and exciting.
Excellent. Well done.
Maybe interested and interesting.
Very good.
Annoying and annoyed.
Yep. Very good.
exhausted, exhausting. I don't know.
Excellent. Well done. Yeah. Are we stuck?
Enjoyed. Enjoying.
Nice try, but actually no, because if we say enjoyed, we're using the past tense of the verb to enjoy. We can't say I'm enjoyed as an adjective, so we're going to leave that one out, but good try. There are a few more that I can think of.
Humiliating and humiliated.
Okay, very good. That's a great one.
Any adjective express feeling how you feel is
Yes, exactly. A lot of them that express your feelings, Mikhail. Exactly right. So let me add a few on myself. Because I think it's nice sometimes to have a bit of a list that you can refer to, and we're going to be using these later on in the class. So if you do want to make a note of them, then we'll talk about them later on. I also want to go through the meanings to make sure that we all understand the meanings of this. So we've got, what else have we got? All of these are kind of feelings, and they're quite nice ones. They make your language a bit more interesting. Haha. So people are more interested when they read it or when they listen to you. So they're a good idea to try and incorporate a bit, guys, after this class. Let me see what else we've got. I think that's probably run out for me at the moment. If I think of any more, I will let you know. Oh, I've thought of another one. Here we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and get our spelling okay. We're going to try and think of some sentences. So what I'd like you to do is take a look at that list of words, and I'll try and keep this on the screen as well, just in case you get a bit confused again. We'll make that a bit smaller. What I'd like you to do is come up with a sentence using any of the words that we've got on the screen. Just think carefully about how you're going to use the word before you mention your sentence. So I'm going to ask Elena, would you like to go first? Choose a word and give me a sentence, please.
Do you want me to use the pair? Or
You
just
can
one
use
of
a pair if you like, or just one, up to you.
Okay. Being a teacher is a tiring activity. And that's why teachers frequently feel tired.
Beautiful. Thank you, Elena. That's an excellent example and true. All right. Ronaldo, your turn. You can choose a word or use more than one, up to you.
Okay. Let me see. I got interested in this show after I had read an interesting book.
Very good. Perfect example. Well done. Okay. Mikkel, your turn. Are you there, Mikkel?
sorry.
That's okay. He's chatting away with his microphone on mute.
I feel annoyed because the meeting was annoying.
Yes, that's absolutely right. So often, guys, this is a very good way to practice, I agree, because you can distinguish the difference. That what we don't really tend to do is use both of them in the same sentence, right? So maybe, Mikkel, and I'm not picking on you because I just want to point out another way of using these. I was annoyed maybe because the meeting was so. You could choose another one, right? Boring, disappointing, or another random adjective or a description such as because the meeting lasted for too long or something like that. But yes, you can say I was annoyed because the meeting was annoying. Well done.
Yes, it's not normal, but
It sounds a little bit repetitive, that's all.
grammaticalmente is no wrong.
Grammatically, it's correct. It just sounds a little bit funny, that's all, Mikhail. All right, let's ask Alejandro. Do you want to come up with another one for us?
Okay. I was depressed because the weather is depressing.
Thank you, Alejandro. We can add that one onto our list. That's a good one. Do you mind if I add that on? And there we go. All right, and Alberto, your turn.
I am surprised because the party was surprising.
Good work. All right, this time, guys, we're going to have another little practice. I'm going to give you a word, and I want you to use that word in a sentence. So before we start, does anybody want to ask the meanings of any of these? Do we understand all of them?
Oh, just one I have in doubt. Amused, it's amusing, it's
Okay,
when
who
you
can explain that one? What does amused or amusing mean? Would anyone like to have a go at explaining? No, nobody knows what it means? All right, well, there you go. We're all going to learn a new one. Sorry, I'm just in the middle of typing another one that I thought of. So, amusing basically means that it causes you to smile.
really?
It's funny, and I want to talk about fun and funny in a moment as well. But I'm just going to add this one on here before I forget about it. Whoopsie. So yes, it means it causes you to smile. It's not. It doesn't cause you to really, really laugh a lot, but it maybe causes you to smile. So if something's amusing, it's slightly funny. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right, let's do one more sentence with these words, and we'll talk about fun and funny. So, I would like, Elena, we'll go for you first. Can you use the word satisfying, please?
I'm sorry, teacher, can you repeat?
Yes, I just want you to give me an example sentence using the word satisfying.
Hanging out with friends is one of the most satisfying things to do in a weekend.
I agree wholeheartedly with that, Elena. Very good, excellent. Alberto, I would like you to use this one here. Humiliated.
I feel humiliated because when I arrived to the airport, the auxiliary told me about that I cannot get in the airplane, and I feel because it was humiliating.
Okay, good. So I think you mean the flight attendant is usually the word
Yes.
we use in English.
Yeah, the flight attendant is okay.
Great, well done. That's quite a tricky one. So the meaning of humiliated maybe is a little bit tricky. It basically means the same, similar to embarrassed, right? Humiliated, it means it causes shame. It causes you to be ashamed. All right, well done. Great example, Alberto. Alejandro, can you use exhausting?
They were exhausted.
Yes, but could you try to use the ing version rather than the ed? Exhausting, not exhausted.
Okay. They was exhausting.
Okay, good. Yeah, keep going.
Because the situation was exhausted.
All right. Oh, now you're bringing in extra tricky things, Alejandro. So hold on a second. If we want to use exhausting, what we need to describe is some kind of thing or person that causes you to be really, really tired, okay? And then you feel exhausted. So, for example, running 20 miles on Sunday was really exhausting, okay? Or that child is so exhausting. It means like he makes you really tired. Maybe he's screaming and running around all day and you have to look after him. So the way that you used exhausted just then was made me smile. It was amusing because to exhaust is actually also a verb. And can someone explain to me what to exhaust means, the verb exhaust? Does anyone know?
Someone very tired.
It can be that, and it also has another meaning. Does anyone know the other meaning? It's very related.
Someone very tired.
Yep. So to exhaust means to tire somebody out. Yep. To make somebody very tired. Or it means to use up something completely. So if you exhaust your supply of something, it means there's none left. Like you exhaust your supply of money, you run out of money. So that's just a side note. All right, well done, Alejandro. It's Ronaldo's turn. Ronaldo, I would like you to use depressed.
Depressed. Okay. This will be tragic. I'm feel depressed because my dog died.
Oh, that's depressing. Well done.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
I hope that's not true. That's not true, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not true.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, Mikkel, amusing, the word that we just learnt today, which means to cause a smile or to cause somebody to think something's kind of funny.
Okay, I feel how pronounce amused.
Can you say that again, Mikkel?
Sorry, how can I pronounce amused?
So I want you to use amusing, please, Mikkel.
Yes, I feel amused in the class because I think the class Ami is amusing.
Good. That's great. Well done. Perfect usage. Okay, let's talk about the words fun and funny for a moment. I'll make these smaller, but I'll leave them there so that you can keep your eye on them if you're still writing. Let's talk about the words fun and funny. Can anyone have a guess or try an explanation at the difference between fun and funny?
Funny is an adjective and fun is a noun.
Right, yep, very good. Now, that's absolutely correct, and that's the easiest explanation. Well done, Elena. The only problem is we can also use this as an adjective. So the problem comes when we use fun as an adjective or funny as an adjective. What's the difference between saying something is fun or something is funny? Any idea?
Fun is pleasant and funny makes you laugh.
Absolutely. Very good. Great description. I'm going to put that in there. Something is... I'm going to put enjoyable if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you laugh. So if something is funny, then it's probably one step up from amusing, right? I'd say amusing is maybe makes you smile, and funny probably makes you laugh. Excellent. So it's quite straightforward, but it is difficult to remember. Just don't forget that we don't use this one if we mean enjoyable. So you can't say, oh, I had a funny weekend. If you say that, funny takes on a slightly different meaning. So apart from the fact that it could mean to make you laugh, it also has another meaning. Does anybody know what that meaning is?
No.
I'll give you an example. If I say, something funny happened to me yesterday, I might mean something made me laugh, or...
Something strange, something odd,
Yes.
unusual.
Yes, very good. Strange, odd, or unusual. So I saw a funny man the other day and he freaked me out, maybe. So that's the difference between those two. Thank you, Elena. Very great description. All right, we're going to move on, guys, to just having a bit of a discussion now. So I'm going to leave these words here so that you can use them as you're talking. And I'm going to ask you some questions so we can have a bit of a practice. Related to these adjectives, so do your best to use the adjectives if you can, otherwise just have a bit of speaking practice. So let me ask Ronaldo. Ronaldo, tell me, when was the last time that you were terrified?
Terrified?
Yep.
Okay.
You can make this up if you like, it doesn't have to be true, I won't know.
Yes. Well, my last terrified moment
Terrifying moment. Terrifying
yes,
moment.
terrifying moment. It was, I was in a road and the guys in front of me, the car in front of me brake very fast.
Braked suddenly, maybe.
So yeah, suddenly.
Yep.
And I got terrified because almost I don't have time to brake.
Okay, I almost didn't have time to brake.
Almost been?
I almost didn't have time to brake.
Oh yes, I almost didn't time to brake.
Yes, so well done, Ronaldo. That is scary. That's happened to me before. And yeah. So you didn't crash, did you?
No.
Oh, well done.
Thanks God, no.
Yeah. All right, great. Okay, let's see if anyone else has a terrifying moment to talk about. Elena, when was the last time you were terrified?
I was terrified by. Let me make something up. I was terrified when I discovered there was a mouse in my house and I couldn't get it out. So I got terrified and I couldn't sleep.
Very good. Are you actually afraid of mice?
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone is. People say they aren't, but when the mouse is staring at you, then you start screaming.
You know what? I have to agree with you there. When I was little, a mouse was in our house, and I thought I wasn't scared of it. It was actually, it had a kind of a mouse hole in my bedroom. And I thought, oh, it's so cute, you know, but then when it came time to go to bed, I realized I was too scared to sleep. So I made my dad come and stay in the room checking the mouse wasn't there while I fell asleep. All right, excellent. Another one. Okay, what is the most interesting thing that you do at the weekends, Alejandro?
I was swimming in the sea.
Okay. Did you go last weekend, or is this something you do every weekend?
I'm going to the beach every day.
I go to the beach. I go to the beach every day.
Okay, I go to the beach every day. Yes.
Yeah. If you do something regularly, Alejandro, you use the present simple. And if you're doing it right now, you use the continuous. So we say, I go to the beach every day. All right, that is interesting. I love going to the beach as well. Okay, let's ask Ronaldo.
Okay.
What's the most interesting thing that you do at the weekends?
I think it one. I think it's interesting. I had done it's to skydiving. Oh my god, I forgot the name. Is
Skydiving?
yeah, skydiving. Yes.
Whoa. Don't you find it frightening?
No, it's interesting because because it's amusing. Amusing.
Very good,
Yeah.
Ronaldo. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent work.
It's-
You've used all those adjectives.
Yeah, because I think it's very different by normal day, and it's interesting for me.
Absolutely. It's kind of an
Mhm.
unusual activity, right?
Yeah.
All right, skydiving. Has anybody else here done skydiving before? No?
No.
Is anybody an adventure sport enthusiast? Like maybe not skydiving, but something else kind of scary and adventurous? No?
No.
Oh, Ronaldo, you're the only interesting one in the room.
Yeah. I'm a,
All right.
I am a radical. I'm a rock.
You're yes, you are. You're a rebel. All right, Mikhail, it's your turn. I'm going to ask you something else. If you had to think of the most boring job in the world that you would absolutely hate to do, what would it be?
The most
Boring job.
boring job.
Yep.
I think it, but it's difficult to boring. One moment. I think all work, mechanic work. For example, I remember to do the when it's a mechanic job, you are in a, I don't know, in a chain. You have all day doing the same with the same movements. I don't know.
A repetitive job, I think you mean.
Yes, when you are in a, what do you say? When it's a lot of people, for example, in a big company of cars, and the people is in a factory. The people is all day doing the same thing, the same movement. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. You mean a factory worker, Mikhail? Somebody who works. Yeah, I know what you mean. On a production line is quite often what we call it. So you have to, for example, I don't know, sew buttons on the same types of clothes all day or something, right?
I think it's very boring, this job.
So do I. All right, good example, Mikhail. Let's ask Alberto, what would be the most boring job that you can think of, Alberto?
I think the most boring job is pick up trash.
Yeah, okay. A trash man?
Yeah,
Excellent.
trash man. Yes.
I don't know if that would be boring for me. I think it would be kind of smelly, and yeah,
Okay.
probably it would be boring. All right, good idea. Let's ask Alejandro. Alejandro, what would be the most boring job that you can think of?
I think the most boring job it's factory worker.
All right, so you agree with Mikel. With these types of situations, guys, we can make use of the chance to practice the conditional. So you can say the most boring job would be a factory worker, for example. Okay, what about the other opposite end of this? What would be the most exciting job? If you could choose any job that you wanted and you didn't have to train, you could just do it, what would you choose? Let's ask Elena. What would be the most exciting job, Elena?
I would love to be an international journalist.
I think that would be exciting. Don't you also think it might be a bit frightening at times?
I'm sorry, teacher, I didn't understand.
What kind of journalist would you be? What kind of reports would you do?
Oh, about nice places to visit or curiosities. I don't know, but
All right.
I would love to travel abroad and make TV programs maybe, or I think it would be
Excellent.
nice, or a blog. It would be nice too.
So maybe like a travel writer almost instead of a
Yeah.
journalist, possibly. Okay, that does sound fun, I have to admit. Ronaldo, what would be the most exciting job for you?
Well, I think so. To be astronaut, it's very, very interesting because you have opportunity to how can I say, to go out to go to the space
Go into
and go to space and see the Earth in another perspective.
Yeah, that would be
yes, and we have a contact with a lot of technology, and I think it's amazing. Maybe.
To be honest, Ronaldo, I would actually probably find that terrifying as well.
Yes, maybe. Could be very terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's use some of the other words. Tell me about what is a worrying thing for you guys in your lives? Because I think we all worry about different things. Maybe sometimes the same as other people, but I think worries tend to be quite personal. So what is a worrying thing in your life? Let's ask Alberto.
I'm not sure.
Good, you're so relaxed that you don't worry about anything?
I am engineer and I manage projects. And sometimes it's very worried to be punctual with the schedule of the project.
Okay, sometimes it's very worrying.
Yes.
Keeping up with deadlines, right?
Yeah.
All right, that definitely is worrying. I agree. I don't like deadlines. They stress me out. What about Elena? What's something that's worrying in your life, Elena?
Violence is something worrying in my city.
Okay, that's good. Whereabouts do you live again? Which city do you live in?
Oh, I live in Rio.
Okay. Tell me why violence is worrying. Can you give me some kind of an example or describe it a little bit?
Okay. It's not rare to see people get robbed, or you see thieves, depending on the place and depending on the time, of course. But that makes that's very stressful because you have to be attentive all the time.
Absolutely.
So that's something very worrying. Sometimes you have company and you have money, you have something to do, but you don't go. You give up doing something because you're worried about violence.
Oh, that must be very stressful. I think I would find that stressful.
Yeah, that it is. In fact, it is.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I have no experience of living in a country where violence is like maybe a serious problem. I think all cities, even in the UK, some areas of some cities are places you should avoid.
Yeah.
But I think it's slightly different. I've never been to Brazil, but it hasn't put me off. I still want to come.
Yeah, no, it's not everywhere and not all the time, but you have
Yeah.
to pay attention. Yeah.
Pay attention. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so let's use one I just thought of just then, which is inspired or inspiring. Do we all know what that means? Can anyone tell me what it means if something is inspiring? What kind of feeling do you get from that?
Inspiring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you explain?
Yes, I think so. Inspiring is something you motivate you to do something, or for example, Dalai Lama
Yes.
inspire you
Absolutely.
to be a nice people. For
Be
example,
a nice person. Yep.
nice person. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, person, not people. Sorry.
Great, and you just gave us another one. Well done. Motivated or motivating. If something motivates you, yeah, it's inspiring. Great example. So let's see if we can share things that inspire us. For me, music is probably the most inspiring thing, in general in my life. I always feel inspired by music. So let's see what Alejandro says. Alejandro, what is inspiring for you?
Inspire. I think the classical books.
The classics.
They are inspiring.
All right.
For me.
Do you like reading, Alejandro?
Yes, I like.
And do you have
I like to read. Yes.
Do you have a favorite author?
I like the classics. The classics, the Greek classics.
Oh wow!
For example, I don't know the title in English. Iliada, do you know?
Yeah, I think it's called the Iliad. I might be wrong because I'm not. I might have double L.
Okay. Yes, the trip or the trip of Ulysses.
Yeah, I'm not entirely familiar with these, Alejandro, but I do know roughly what you're talking about. You know what? I should try and read some of these. Why do you find these inspiring? Can you give me like a reason in particular?
Yes, because they were very virtuous, very great persons. They had highly moral.
High morals, yeah.
Yes. In these days, all of these I can see it.
Okay, so they actually inspire you maybe in your life now, even though they were written so long ago. All right, thanks, Alejandro. I'm going to put one of those on my reading list, I've decided. All right, Elena, what is inspiring for you?
Love.
Aww. All right. In what way is love inspiring?
Oh, when you love, when you feel that you're in love, you get happier and lighter. The days are sunnier, so you
Yeah.
get inspired, you feel motivated to do everything you have to. So love's extremely inspiring.
Oh, thanks, Elena.
Oh,
But it's true, isn't it? I mean, it was good that you mentioned it. It's definitely true.
yeah.
All right, what about you, Ronaldo? What's inspiring for you?
Well, it's old guys or woman or men's
Yeah.
make a marathon because I like to jogging, you know.
Yes.
And some days ago I did my first half marathon.
Wow.
Yes, and I think it's very inspiring
Mhm.
when I see the old guy, you know, about 60 or
Mhm.
70 doing a marathon.
Oh my
It's
goodness, I agree.
yes, yes, it's very how can I say shocking because it's
Yeah.
so hard. It's so hard to run during the 3 hours,
Uh-huh.
and this guy can do that. And I think so. It's very inspiring to me to try to make my first marathon.
Absolutely. Well done. And did you complete it?
Yes, I did
Well
my first
done.
marathon in 1 hour and uh, 51
My
minutes.
goodness me, Ronaldo, you're inspiring.
Thank you.
I've never done a marathon, and to be honest,
Yes.
I'm not very good at exercise. But
Yeah.
one day, you never know.
Well, it's very, very good for your mind. It's amazing. Yes, because
Really?
yes, we start to running, and how can I say? You get I don't know how can I say in English, but you get adjective. You know,
Addicted. Get addicted?
addicted. Yes, addicted, and
Yeah.
you need to run more, 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 more. And I think so. The endorphin. How can I say endorphin in English?
Endorphins? Yeah.
Endorphin. Yes, endorphins. It's addicting.
Addicted. Addictive.
Addictive.
Yeah.
Addictive. Yes. It's amazing.
All right. Well, Ronaldo, that's an inspiring way to finish the class. Thank you for sharing
Oh,
that.
I forgot one more thing, and
Uh-huh.
you get in shape because you lose weight
Yeah,
very
that's
fast.
also inspiring.
Yes, that's fine.
All right. Well done, everybody. Some really good speaking today. Try to take those adjectives away with you and use them while you're talking in your English as much as you can. If you want to practice some more sentences, go ahead and write me some sentences on Facebook, and I'll go and check them later on to make sure you've used it correctly. But congratulations on learning that grammar point. And if you want to practice your writing, you can come along to the writing class I have next and use those adjectives to write some interesting imaginary blog posts with me. But if you have to go now, that's also fine. I hope to see you soon. It was lovely to meet you. So take care and have a great evening.
Thank you,
Okay.
teacher. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Their Verbing Facebook pages and also the other students, and you can see what the teachers share. So sometimes some useful websites or resources or anything that we come across that is to do with English teaching. You can keep your eye on that via Facebook. If you have specific questions, you can write to us using the messaging feature, which you'll find at the Verbling teacher page. And you can also see the slots which are free for private tutoring sessions, which is where you can have a one-on-one session with a teacher to really focus on your studying, or the upcoming classes that are going to be happening in the next few days or week or so, which is exactly what we're doing now. This right here is a class. So do go ahead and check out those two links if you have time. Okay, let's say hi to our lovely students and see who we've got this morning to talk about confusing adjectives. So, Alberto, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Do you have any news for me today?
Nothing special, only a working day.
Just a normal working day, huh?
Yeah,
All right, well,
with a
that's
lot,
nice.
with a lot of work. That's it.
With a lot of work.
Yeah.
All right, it was a busy day. Well,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know. So I suppose at least when it's busy, you don't get bored. That's probably one good thing about being busy. But welcome, Alberto. Good to see you. Alejandro, how are you?
Hello, teacher.
Nice
I'm
to see
fine.
you again. Excellent. And do you have any news, Alejandro? What's happened to you in the last week or so? Anything exciting?
No, nothing.
Okay, nothing exciting, but nothing bad either, I hope. So just a regular few weeks.
Excuse me.
It's just been a regular or a normal couple of weeks for you.
Try just hard to pronounce.
All right. Well, it's a great name, a great nickname, that's for sure. Where are you from, friend?
I'm from Ecuador.
All right. Very cool. And tell me, why are you learning English? Have you got a specific reason?
Um, yeah, I'm starting education to
Mhm.
be an English teacher.
Great.
I studied another things like economic engineering, computer science. So I want to use English, not like, I don't know, probably to be an English teacher, but I really want to travel abroad
Okay.
after finishing my studies
Mhm.
to work abroad in a
Excellent.
cruise or whatever.
All right. Well, that is a specific goal, and that's great to hear. I'm very pleased about that. It's nice to meet you too, friend. You have an awesome name.
Likewise.
All right. Thank you. Welcome to the class. And who else do we have? Ronaldo.
Um, it was fine. Yes.
Excellent. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And is it summer over there, Alejandro? Is it hot weather?
Very hot. It's very hot tonight.
Oh, yeah, so sticky. Does it make it more difficult for you to concentrate, or do you quite like the heat?
Um, I don't care.
You don't care. Well, that's good to know. All right, well, it's good if you're not affected too much by the weather. I think it makes your life easier because we're not really in control of the weather. All right, well, welcome Alejandro to the class.
Thank you.
Who else do we have here? It looks as if your name might be Friend, which is a great name, but I might be saying it incorrectly. Hello.
Hello. See, you said correctly.
Is your name is really Friend?
Oh, it's just a nickname because my real name is just kind of long. Or
Hello everybody, welcome to this verbaling class with me. My name is Amy and today's class is all about confusing adjectives. So you know those adjectives we have in English that sometimes have an ed ending and sometimes have an ing ending, like bored or boring. When do we use bored and when do we use boring? This confuses so many people, I decided that I'd do a class on it and try and get the confusion sorted out, because it is really very simple, but it's a lot more difficult when you're actually speaking. You have to remember which one to use. So do come along into this class. I believe there are a few slots left if you would like to practice this with us and sort of learn the difference once and for all so that you don't make mistakes again. Before we get started, I'm just going to let you know about 2 pages that you can visit if you would like to sort of supplement your verbaling experience, shall we say. So the first of these 2 pages is my Facebook page. Check that out. It's in the chat box there. You can keep in touch with all the teachers via